Welcome to Giggles and Goals.
Welcome.
I'm Leonie.
I'm Crystal-Dior.
And today, you want to give them a rundown?
Yeah, we're continuing our little series of sorts about how to make money and how they made their money.
Right.
How do you
how
get
so-and-so got rich.
Yes.
So how fill in the blank got rich.
Yes.
Last time we talked about how Sheila Johnson and how Rihanna, billionaires, how they got rich.
Yep.
One was the first black billionaire and one is the youngest black female billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And then today we're talking about
how to become a millionaire.
Yes.
And we're going to learn from Myron Golden.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to learn from 50 Cent. And we're going to learn from Shaq.
Shaq, yes, a very eclectic millionaire.
Yes. Let's start with our one-liners.
Yes, start with our one-liners.
Go
So this one's a little cheesy. So
okay.
Just walk with me. We were created to multiply, not divide. So it's time for us to subtract the doubt.
That's cute. Aww, it's like aww.
Yes,
that's cute. Okay, mine is success is like Wi-Fi. Sometimes you gotta move around a bit to find the right connection.
Yes. Don't be dial up.
Don't be dial up.
You can move around, but don't just stay in the same place, just moving slow.
Dial up used to make me I used to have anger issues as a child with dial up.
Who didn't?
Like
it's like I want to get on this internet.
What's that noise?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for deliverance from that. So let's jump to who said that. It's my week.
Okay.
So the quote is, we wealthy creative entrepreneurs, we pay for things according to our creativity.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a male.
Okay.
This is a millionaire.
Okay.
This is a businessman.
50 Cent.
Nope.
Okay.
This is a black man.
You said billionaire?
Millionaire.
Okay.
Black man.
Mm-hmm.
This man's been poor. He's been rich. He's been poor, and then he's been rich.
Oh, Myron Golden?
Myron.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll expand on what that means later, because we're going to share a clip with you. But I thought that was a cool way of him explaining how people with money pay for things versus how people without money pay for things. Mm-hmm. And it's not about like the dollar. It's about how you pay for things. And he says rich people pay according to their creativity.
Okay.
So it's really cool.
I want to know more about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's jump into our topic.
Yes. The first person we're talking about is Myron Golden.
Yeah.
So you want to take it away?
Sure, I'll take it away.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I want to talk about him, I've seen a lot of clips about him on TikTok and on YouTube. And every single time I see a clip, I'm like, what? And I'm like writing it down.
Yes.
And I'm reposting. And because the man is so profound.
Yes.
And so recently I saw this TikTok that's, I guess, I don't know when it was recorded, but it's been going viral again. These guys with the YouTube channel go around and they see people with really expensive cars. They walk up to them and say, hey, how did you get your car? Like, what do you do? How do you pay for these expensive things? And then the people share their philosophy on things. Mm-hmm. So in this interview, the person asked Myron, what's the most amount of money you've made in a single year? Mm-hmm. He said $15 million. And then the guy asked, have you ever been broke? And I'm going to let Myron answer this for you. We're going to play it for you.
Yes, I loved his answer.
It's a really, really cool answer. I'm going to play the whole thing because everything he says on here is just like, yes, Myron.
Yes.
All right. Y'all ready?
Yeah. And what do you do for a living out here in Tampa to be able to afford a Rolls Royce?
I am a consultant.
Yeah?
Business consultant.
How long have you been a business owner for?
I've been a business owner for 39 years.
Could I interview you real quick? I go all over the country just asking business owners advice to new entrepreneurs.
Sure.
What was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
Most amount of money I've ever made in a single year, $15 million.
$15 million. Yeah. Have you ever been broke before?
I was broke for the first part of my life. Then I made millions of dollars. And then I was broke again. And now we've set it up in such a way that doesn't happen anymore.
So what separates middle class from wealthy people in today's world?
Poor people and middle class people feel like everything's expensive because they pay for everything with money they've exchanged their time for. And they feel like they're paying for everything with their life because they are. Wealthy, creative entrepreneurs, we pay for things according to our creativity. In other words, we create an offer to pay for everything we buy. So everything costs the same amount.
And do you believe in God?
I more than believe in God. I trust God.
How important has faith been for you throughout your career?
It's the most important thing in my life.
How did you build that relationship and build that trust in God? Maybe to speak to those people that...
I received Christ as my Savior when I was 16 years old. I started reading the Bible when I was 17. Every success principle that I learned, the very first thing that I do is I go back and look at scripture and see if it lines up. If it does, I'll follow it. If it doesn't, I ditch it.
You got amazing advice. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that. So
Good to meet you, young man. Excuse me, sir.
Very cool, right?
Yes, amazing.
He's just such a wise man. But
Yes.
I like his philosophy on it. And he talks about he wasn't afraid to be broke. And just to give y'all a snippet about his life, he actually was born with polio.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he was left with a leg brace for most of his life. He grew up in a financially struggling home, no early access to wealth and wealth building and finance classes or anything like that. But he became an expert in selling from any stage, helping businesses scale from 7 to 8 figure in revenues. And then he started to specialize in high ticket sales, teaching clients how to sell premium offers. Using his trash can cash philosophy, he turned a simple offers into multi-million-dollar results. And while his empire isn't super flashy, isn't super exciting, he likes to teach people how to build wealth. And most of his ventures include Myron Golden Enterprises. It's his main business. It's coaching, marketing, consulting, courses, sales classes, how to do offers, entrepreneurship training. He also has books. He has a book called From the Trash Man to the Cash Man.
Yeah.
Amen to that. It's about mindset and wealth building. He is, of course, a speaker and a coach, and he travels the world, which makes him a lot of money. And then he does live events and challenges, virtual challenges, business summits. He has a challenge called Make More Offers Challenge, and he helps entrepreneurs craft profitable offers and systems. The takeaway from him is Myron shows that mastering a skill and mastering it well, and then scaling that skill is one way to start your $1 million empire. And it seems like he was never afraid to make mistakes. He doesn't hide his mistakes. He doesn't shy away from telling people about how he made a lot of money and lost it all because he didn't manage it well, and how he had to learn from that and do it better. And he made more than he lost. And the one thing I love about him is he always gives credit to faith. There's another clip that we can actually maybe put in our caption where he talks about how he gets all his business principles from the Bible.
Right.
Like he goes to the Bible and is like, is this in the Bible? And if it is, he does it. If it's not, he doesn't do it. And that has guided him to be the successful, well-known millionaire that he is today, riding around the Rolls Royce.
And let's talk about quickly two things. So I want to get to the biblical principles he teaches about, but just so you understand how the high level this man operates at, he charges for the higher level CEOs and entrepreneurs, those who are who are looking for the $7-8 million figures. I mean 7-8 figures. He charges $155,000 to work with him.
Yeah.
I don't know how many hours that is or for how long that is, but it's definitely, that's the starting point.
And these people must think it's worth it.
Yeah.
So whatever they're spending, he must be making them more or 3 times.
I
at
mean,
least
if it's
2
7,
times
if
that.
it's 7, 8, like we're way past 6. We're talking about million, billion.
Yeah.
His expertise is $1 billion revenues, not 6 figures, because 6 figures go all the way up to 600,000, 700, 800, 900,000. But we're talking about millions to billions.
Yeah.
So 155,000 is the drop in the bucket if you're talking about you're over here several millions.
Yeah. I went to this conference a few weeks ago called the National Sales Network Conference. It's actually a Black conference, but it's like you wouldn't know. You know when you get there and see only Black people, but otherwise you wouldn't know. It's
top notch.
Immaculately
I love
planned.
stuff like that where it's like
excellent.
Food
like,
arrives on time. You ain't waiting there for 2 hours.
The whole
air conditioning
thing
works.
But it was a sales network, a lot of pharmaceutical sales, a lot of VPs, CEOs, big deal people. And I went to this one workshop. The guy was talking about how to close big sales.
Yeah.
And he said he was an engineer, regular, smuggler engineer, didn't know how to talk. He had a great skill, but he didn't know how to talk about his skill.
Yes.
He didn't know how to sell his skill. He didn't know how to verbalize why people needed him versus every other engineer. And so he wasn't closing deals. He wasn't doing well at being a project manager in engineering. He started doing Toastmasters. He joined this national public speaking competition, and he honed in how he communicates his value and his company's value and his brand's value. And that took him from not closing deals to closing huge deals. And he said even in situations where a competitor had a better product, he still won the deal because he could sell his product better than their better product.
Right.
And that's kind of like what I hear from Myron, like learning how to sell. Most of his business is around coaching people, sales, pitching, scaling. How do you do this thing? And I think that's something that every industry has in common. You are selling something, yourself, a product, a brand, a service, learning how to articulate, communicate, sell, pitch. It will take you from being regular to amazing.
So going back to the biblical principles that he talks about, because it goes in line with what you're saying, and I'm gonna take from two of the lessons that I've heard from him, because I've been down a rabbit hole of his for a while, and I'm like watching, like I've watched more of his videos than I can count, and one thing, the biblical principles that he really gleans from is King Solomon. And King Solomon was the richest and the wisest person to have ever lived, still to this day, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but at least the most prolific rich man ever. And I watched a message that he did about this the other day, and he talked about how Solomon, he was so rich that he advised other kings. The way that Solomon was continued to that notoriety of wisdom, and he was building wealth, Myron believes that he charged other kings and queens
to help them
with their kingdoms.
That's cool.
And so then he talked about in the area how there were amphitheaters, and in those places there was no microphones, there was no speakers, but the way it was built, your voice could be amplified and everybody could hear you with these thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. And this is ancient times, and so he was saying how he believed Solomon would go and talk to large groups of people about how to handle their money.
That's really cool.
That's communication. So that takes me to another one of his messages that I saw, where he's like, when you are an implementer, that's the lowest level of income that you could be at. You're making minimum wage to maybe maximum $80,000 a year. And then above that, you are, I forgot the exact ones, the names of it, but I'm going to say the ones I remember. You have the implementer, then you have the communicator, all the way up to, I believe, like inventor, visionary type of person. And in between those, you don't get to the unlimited part until you get to the inventor, the visionary. But you can make more money when you get to the 6 figures and 7 figures. When you get to the point where you are not exchanging your time for money, when you get to the point where you have a product, where you have a product specifically, or you are communicating your skills. So when the way that you get to this $6-8 million figure, is when you can have your skill set and you can communicate it and you can teach it, like you were saying. That's how you break free and you get into the cycle of being wealthy. When you stop exchanging your time for money.
And that's huge. I think he one of the biggest things that I hear in all his videos is you have to change your mindset about money and your mindset about how you can become wealthy. Our mind is literally the key to anything and everything that we dream of. But if we do not get our mindset in line with our dreams, we will not be able to do anything.
The thing, and I'm going to butcher this, so I'll find the links and I'll put the link. We can put the links to the message that I'm referencing in our description. But even though I've heard Myron's speaking about business over this past year, because I just found out about him really last year, while my husband was telling me about him, but I recently, as in like this last week or two, started listening to his messages about the Bible and how plainly he teaches things and scriptures that I have had a lot of question mark around, and like how am I supposed to view this, and feeling guilty about wanting to be wealtty and have riches and like enjoying luxuries and things like that. And he's breaking down in scripture how God is saying this is okay, or like breaking down the kingdom of God, and what the kingdom of God actually is, and then taking it to to the Hebrew language and talking about how Hebrew words are built and what they mean and what it means to say this in the realm of being rich. And then talking about how majority of the people stories that we hear about in the Bible, they were business people. A lot of the people had money. Abraham wasn't poor. He was wealthy. And so for somebody who grew up in church their whole life, and when you have this prosperity teaching that's taught to you, or when you say your breakthrough was coming, just come up here and give that $50.
Just have faith.
And then like, God's going to bless you right now. He's going to come here and bless you right now. Like that has not worked.
Yeah.
But in just listening to his teachings and realizing, because I'm a person who, I went to theology school for a semester. Like I do really like doing a deep dive into scripture, but I didn't want to go to school for it. But I'd read commentaries and all that stuff. When you get into the Bible, I want to know what it means and what it says. So hearing it being broke down like that and realizing that God is not against riches. Yes, money is the root of all evil.
The love of money.
But you don't have to love money. You can have a lot of money, but you don't have to love it. You don't have to be greedy.
Yes.
You don't have to do that, but that doesn't mean it's going to turn you into something that God doesn't want you to be.
Yeah.
In fact, God wants you to have the riches because like you said, and I did read more on that. Solomon said that, where it's like money is the answer to everything in Ecclesiastes, I believe. That's what Solomon said.
Yeah.
Because for us to do the will of God, we need to have the resources to do it.
You need to be able to pour out
in this time, space, matter that we're confined in. We only have a certain amount of time. We have 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
We have time, we have the space, we have the earth, we have that we inhabit. And then the matter, we have the things, the materials that keep us bound.
Yeah.
So with all of those things in mind, we need money. We need the materials of this earth to bring forth the things that God has put in us.
Y'all, Leonie preaches today. We about to pass an offering bucket. Okay, y'all donate. Okay,
I'm learning this from Myron
because this is good stuff. I mean, people always think about the Bible as a book of faith. It's a book of business.
It's a book of. That's what he says. He thinks it's like people think it's a book of religion. It's not.
No.
It's a story about a royal family and what they did in their legacy and their lineage.
Yeah, and how you can have it too. Like even when we talk about like the story of the sower and the seed, and that's all about how do you take, if someone gives you $1, what do you do with it? Do you bury it? Do you grow it? Do you flip it? It's a book of business.
So let's talk about, so we might not even get a chance to talk about everybody else we're supposed to talk about today.
We'll talk about it quick.
Let's talk about, but Myron, I've been having a revelation recently.
Go ahead.
So I don't know. I don't know. This is my first time testing it out.
Y'all can donate below. Go ahead.
But when I was listening to Myron, he was talking about, in the beginning there was a word, and the word was with God, and how the life and death is in the power of the tongue. Everything that we have comes from words. So when we speak, I imagine. So this is what I said. And if you're a pastor out there, or somebody, correct me if this don't make no sense. But when you pray, I imagine praying is what sets your atmosphere. That is when you pray, you're able to have good soil. That's our universe.
Okay.
Praying affects our universe, the world around us. It makes it good soil.
Yeah.
When we speak, we're sowing the seed. Whatever you speak, you're sowing. You can sow a seed that's going to grow into something beautiful and big and healthy. With your words, that is when you're saying like, Lord, I bless this, or I believe in this. I have faith for this. I'm going after that, whatever it is. And then you can have seeds that you sow, or you can speak words that are weeds. Weeds are also come from seeds.
And they will suffocate and kill you.
And they will suffocate and they will kill your good seeds. And if you're not praying, your soil is not good enough to let that healthy seed grow. Yeah. And if you have, it creates dry ground when you're not praying.
Watering it.
Exactly. So if you're not praying, you don't have good soil. If you are speaking bad words over your good words, then those weeds eat up the good seed that you put there. So speak positive words into the atmosphere that you're praying over.
That's good.
And then you'll produce good fruit. And so when you think about how everything begins and ends with the word, with words that we speak, becoming wealthy, becoming the 7-8 figure, whatever figure, it starts with your words.
It does.
And so when you speak good words, you're able to reap a good harvest.
That's good. Hey, yeah. We're about to have altar call. Listen. But no, it's so real. And we're not even over here trying to evangelize. I mean, we are, but we're not. But
right.
we are.
Right. You're not, but you are. But you're not. Because
it's
like,
we are.
Because I'm just like, this whole platform is about us sharing our experiences.
Yeah.
To building business and building wealth.
Yeah.
And for somebody who's grown up in church their entire life, I'm about to get emotional. Who's grown up in church their entire life and has, even though I felt there's something inside of me that needs to come out, that is enterprising, that is something where I do want to have riches and wealth, but not so that I could flaunt it and have luxury things. It's because I have things I want to fix in this world.
Yeah.
I have things that God has shown me that I want to participate in and solve. I want to solve problems, and you need to have money to solve the type of problems at a large scale. And God has called us to that.
Yeah.
He has given us dominion over the assignment He has put on our life.
Yeah.
And so
we have authority.
We have authority over these things.
Yeah.
So when it's what I felt inside was that tug of war with what I thought God was saying about desiring certain things in this world.
Yeah.
And so going through unlearning some things, and then, doing my own research and studying and having this new perspective on wealth, it has changed the way I approach my assignment. Yeah. And so that is something for everybody to take and understand, especially if you grow up in church and you think like the way that it's been taught to you is, I just want it to be, I want us to relearn money in church the way it's been taught.
And reframe our thoughts even when it comes to the Bible. Because I think same thing growing up in the church, you sometimes you just feel like you're being condemned, and like reading the Bible feels like I'm just going to feel bad about my life. I'm going to feel bad about what I'm not doing or what I am doing. No, that's not what it's meant to encourage you. It's meant to teach you. It's meant to grow you. And it's not just a book of faith. It's a book of business about how to live this life. Life is a business.
Yeah.
Life is a business. How do I function? How do I sow seeds? How do I give back? How do I, how do I live this life abundantly?
Yes.
Abundance
and
does not
coming
mean
from a place of lack.
Yeah, abundance does not mean giving out of zero. It means giving out of your abundance, your overflow, your extra. You can't give if you don't have extra. God wants us to have extra because He wants us to give.
Exactly.
That's a good word. Oh Lord, look at the Lord. Okay,
look.
We about to let's change. Let's jump on.
Okay.
Because Myron, listen, y'all, if you haven't done a deep dive into Myron,
you
go on
get ready.
YouTube.
Yes.
That's some free teachings on YouTube. You can't afford his
$155,000, not yet.
He talks a lot. He gives a lot of free wisdoms on TikTok, YouTube, all the things. But jumping into, how do you jump into 50 Cent after that? But jumping into 50 Cent, and I don't even know.
He turned that 50 cent to several millions of cents.
50, right? Turned out 50 to $1. But 50 Cent kind of had a similar background upbringing as Myron. Humble beginnings, grew up in Queens. I think he used to sell stuff he shouldn't have been selling. But his grandmother raised him because his mom was killed, which ended up with him being in the streets as a hustler. But I remember I saw this interview with him years ago, and he was saying it's not like he ever wanted to be a hustler, but he needed to make money, and he saw that hustlers were making money. He's like, okay, well, I'll do that. You know what I mean? But he was never married to the streets like that. That's why as soon as he got out, he got out. Like, he wasn't one of those rappers who was still in. No, because it wasn't like he was trying to do that. He just was trying to provide for himself. So he actually was discovered by Eminem and Dr. Dre.
Right.
He dropped his album Get Rich or Die Trying. It sold over 12 million copies. Became one of the most successful rappers in the 2000s. I actually saw him at the rodeo year before last.
Oh, that's right.
Me and my friend Ebony got like cheap tickets because we were like, do we even know his songs? Like, when's the last time he dropped the album? But
first of all, then you realize like you don't. It's the moment you realize you know every song, you didn't know you knew
But you
every
didn't
song.
know. So we got to this concert. We were first mad that we didn't spend more money on the tickets because it was amazing.
Oh, I didn't know
Like,
50 Cent threw a lit concert.
He did.
I think I was good and pregnant at the time.
Yeah.
You
were super pregnant. And we were standing in the back. It was a whole thing. But amazing show. Amazing. Like, just he did the dang thing. So I was very impressed by his excellence there. Entrepreneurially, he has dabbled in a lot, and he dabbles in a lot. He has G Unit Records, his own record label. He has a clothing line from that. He started selling vitamin water, which he made most of his money selling vitamin water,
which had no vitamins.
No vitamins. He made $100 million partnering with Coca-Cola to make vitamin water. And he has a 50% equity in it. And I remember I saw an interview about vitamin water because we were like, why are you selling vitamin water? He said, well, I saw people were making money selling water alternatives. So I was like, well, they're making money doing it, so I'm going to do it.
Let me put a little watercolor, a little sugar in here.
He has the simplest reasoning for doing things. He's like, I saw they were doing it and making money, so I'm like, I'll do it and make money. Okay. Exactly. Just that simple. Exactly. He has a champagne. He has a cognac. He has a very successful, very well done TV production company. He did Power, amazing story, amazing show.
You saw Power? You
saw the whole Power. It was amazing.
Oh, I haven't seen any of these.
Power is really good. I haven't seen Book of Power, Book of Two.
Okay.
But he has Raising Cain, Black Mafia Family. I did watch that recently. Really good. He has G Unit Films and Television, and he just opened a studio in Louisiana. Big TV studio in Shreveport, Louisiana. So he's taking his mainstream. These shows were on mainstream channels. These weren't on BET. Sorry, BET, but they weren't. Like, he wasn't on Tyler Perry Network or Oprah Network. Like, he was on was it
Stars.
So he was up there with the big dogs, and it was a very, very well rated show. He has some Spirits line of we talked about that. He has an underwear line. He has a audio headphones. And he has a vodka. So he's a little bit everywhere. He does a little bit of everything.
I feel like that things are still within an umbrella, though, of like, of his lane.
Yeah.
It's not too far out. It's still in his entertainment, music clubbing lane.
Yeah. He actually had a really funny, because although he's wise, he's not, the way he inspires a little bit different than Myron.
But a little.
So I want to play this clip. He's explaining why he hasn't reached billionaire status yet.
Okay.
So this is his explanation for that. Let's play it.
I'm not sure I'm in a hurry to reach that. Because I've reached the point where I don't have anything that I want that I don't have. So I don't know what the rush is to get to that point is. You see what I'm saying? Like, when you already... Look, I bought every car that I wanted to 2 or 3 times. Bought them, put them back. The newer versions came, put them back. The newer versions came, you know what I mean? And that's just the success from 03. And it habits within lifestyle. If you're earning a decent amount of money, if you don't spend it, they're just going to take it. I said, hey, I'm in the IRS. If there was a person that you could point to, you go, well, why did you change your mind and decide you want 58% of all my money? Like, what is going on? Like, and it even will make you adjust where you decide to lay your head. Common sense would say if you don't need the things that are right there, they're going to change where high net worth people are staying. They'll move to territories that are more fit for their life and stability of them continuing to function on the level they're on, instead of staying in a place that is not offering you anything better or anything bigger as it increases.
So what stood out for me in that, he was like, I'm not rushing to become a billionaire, because he's not rushing because he has everything that he needs. And so that makes me feel like he doesn't love money, right? Money is good, but he's not
it's not about the titles.
It's not like, I need more. And I think that's where money becomes a negative in your life, when you're just, because you never can have enough, right? And so you're never pleased. And that's when you start to love it, and you start to make shady moves and do things you wouldn't do because you're like, I need more. And I could tell that he runs money does not run him.
Right.
And I think that's the difference when the Bible talks about the love of money and the negativity of that, is because people start loving it so much that they'll forsake anything. You hear about people like backstabbing their family members for an inheritance.
Yes.
Spouses getting rid of their spouses for an insurance check. Like, that's a love of money. Money is running you. You're not running the money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So 50 Cent was trying to say that in his
I like that.
words.
I do like that. He also had the point I got from that is when you have that billionaire status, they want to tax you differently.
Yeah.
And they want to take things from you without giving anything back. And then that makes you want to go other places because what's the point of me getting my money taken if you're not giving me anything back? So, and don't be in a rush to start having something just to say you have it when it's going to come with some stuff. And I think we did that in another episode where it's like, don't be so quick to want to get your LLC and all that stuff because you gonna end up having to pay a franchise tax and you ain't got nothing. Right. You ain't made $1 yet.
Make sure like don't jump ahead. Right. Stay where you can manage. Same as Myron. 50 Cent has gone bankrupt. Many times. He's bankrupt many of his brands. Didn't stress him out. Just started another one. You know what I mean?
Right. So, that's what people do. Is like go bankrupt and then do it again.
He's not afraid to fail. Just like all the other billionaires and millionaires. The common thread between Sheila and Rihanna and Myron and 50 Cent and I'm sure Shaq is they're not afraid
to fail. One thing, but I didn't. Knowing 50 from back in high school and me in high school, we did not go to high school together. But when he's in the club and doing all his stuff, I did not imagine him going this route and having this
being a businessman,
being like having this level of longevity in his career and in the industry and just expanding like this. So I didn't see it for him, and I'm glad.
And he diversified. He didn't just rely like Rihanna. Didn't just rely on being a rapper. Like we're talking about. I don't know if rapping is his passion. You know, I don't know if we'll ever get another 50 anything musically. Probably not, because now he's like, I'm a mogul. I like business.
Right. He's a TV producer. Like he's in his TV bag, his movie bag right now.
Yeah. So he's definitely a businessman in that sense.
Yes.
And he's made some smart investments, and just like him, it makes me think of Shaq.
Yes.
Do you want to do the rundown on Shaq?
Okay, so Shaq, he's a basketball legend. Okay, Laker Nation. Drafted into the NBA in 1992 as the number 1 pick, Shaq became one of the most dominant players in basketball history, winning 4 NBA championships. Known for his size, strength, and charisma, Shaq became a household name globally.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yes, he's made very smart business moves. Things like very things you'll never know. Like he just has just a mixed bag.
Yeah.
And instead of just being a sports star, Shaq invested heavily in franchises like Auntie Annie's, Five Guys, Papa John's, and Krispy Kreme. It sounds like he just everything he liked. He was like, I'm going to have that.
Yeah.
Early investor in Google. So, he got a lot of money from that.
Yeah.
Showing his knack for recognizing future tech potential.
Yeah.
He built a brand around himself through endorsements, media appearances, and his NBA and analyst role on TNT.
Yeah.
The Inside Guys. So I don't think that show is no longer there, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yes. And then with his business investments, Shaq post NBA empire is massive, spanning across many industries.
A lot.
So he's the franchise owner of Papa John's. Shaq not only owns a significant number of Papa John's franchises, but he also joined a company's board of directors and serves as a spokesperson. Auntie Anne's. Is it Auntie Anne's or Auntie Annie's?
Auntie Anne's.
Okay, Auntie Anne's owns 17 Auntie Anne's pretzel franchises. Wow.
Yeah.
Making him a significant player in the franchise world. So he probably owns one in your mall because
like all of them. Like that's a lot.
Right. Because those only be in malls. And then Five Guys. At one point, Shaq owned 155 Five Guys burgers restaurants.
It's huge.
Though he has since sold his stake. Krispy Kreme, he owns a few of those in Atlanta and is a brand or owns a Krispy Kreme in Atlanta, is a brand ambassador for the company. And then he has a fun house. He combines entertainment with business, featuring music festivals and carnivals that taps into his entertainment persona. He's also a DJ, so I see how that fits in there. So he runs.
Oh, there's more, girl.
Oh, there's more. Carrying on.
Yeah, Shaq do it all.
So the general insurance. So that is it car insurance or life insurance?
You see the general.
Like the general. Yeah, so he's a brand ambassador for that. He has real estate investments. Shaq has made significant investment in commercial real estate, particularly in Los Angeles, New Jersey, and Florida. He has tech investments. We mentioned Google. He also invests in Ring. He also the home security company. Is before it was bought by Amazon, and then he has brand products. He has sneakers.
Have you seen his chips?
The affordable ones in Walmart. You know what chips?
He has chips, but go ahead.
What are they called?
Like Shaq's.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I want to taste them. We should have bought them.
I forgot about them till right now.
Okay, briefly had a line of sodas under Arizona Beverages. He just tries anything. Shaq Attack and other basketball products partner with Reebok for the Shaq Attack sneakers, which have seen multiple re-releases. Media and entertainment, the inside the NBA, the Inside Guys. His role as an NBA analyst on TNT has become a major revenue stream and kept him relevant in the sports world post retirement. Shaq Fu Radio, his own radio station playing hip hop and R&B, reflecting his personal passion for music and DJing. So, what I get from this is I don't know. It sounds like he's in the. I don't know how much any of these things are making, but it sounds like it's like a dollar store type of mentality where you just have a lot of very inexpensive things.
Yeah, I feel like he believes in investing in businesses, like angel investor. Like he likes to pour into other people's successful businesses. He's like, oh, you make pretzels, people like your pretzels, give me a pretzel. Like he's one of those. Like he's one of those like people who buy investments. Or, like I mean, that's what angel investors do. Like they see an entrepreneur and like, oh, that's a good idea. Let me do it.
Exactly. And
he's not afraid to try it.
And he's the thing about him, which is really cool, which I see a lot of entrepreneurs doing. Like once they have their flagship thing, I see them going and they end up having like, I have 10 $1 million business, or I have a portfolio with this many businesses that all making $1 million in revenue. Is you buy businesses that are already doing well, or they have a brand, they're maybe have plateaued, and you can go and apply your strategy and grow it and build it and flip it. So taking something that already exists with the money that you've built from your flagship product, from your communication with the stuff we were talking about at the top of the episode with Myron Golden, the things that your products that you are getting money for, or your skills that you're teaching about. Taking that money and reinvesting it into other businesses and to get the revenue from those things.
So let's play because we gotta be fair to Shaq. Let's play a Shaq clip.
Okay.
Let's see what Shaq got to say.
I don't like to seem like I'm bragging, but I'm gonna ask you a question. Who owns Marilyn Monroe? Marilyn Monroe. Playboy? Who owns Elvis Presley? Who owns Forever 21? Who owns JC Penney?
That dude just had to stop talking.
Me. My real business is I own 50 brands. I don't like to seem like I'm bragging.
He owns Marilyn Monroe.
Yes. So
that is.
I would love to interview Shaq. We should reach out to Shaq and ask.
Let's do it.
I think Shaq would say yes, potentially, but maybe not. I don't know. It's like help some sisters out.
I know 2 people who have his phone number.
Well, let's ask.
I mean, I think he'd be trying to flirt with them, but like,
oh, it don't matter.
I'm gonna ask.
You can flirt with us if you come and be a guest. Be a guest on the podcast. We want to ask. So this is the question I want to ask Shaq. I want to ask, what are you doing with these things? You own these names, these brands. It's like, but what are you doing with them?
How do you make a decision what you're going to buy?
How do you make money off of them?
Yeah.
It's because I can own the rights to Crystal's story. But if you ain't got a story to tell yet, what am I going to do with it?
But it seems like he's buying things that are already profitable.
But JCPenney, I thought they closed.
I don't know. Wait, I don't know when he owned it, but it's like Marilyn Monroe, she's everywhere, right?
Right.
Anytime anyone says her name, uses any of her images, he gets paid for that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Annie's, we know that brand.
That's
I like
true.
pretzel better. Sorry, Shaq.
I actually don't.
I like the pizza pretzel.
No, I like Auntie Annie's better, or Auntie Anne's, whatever. But anyway,
he's definitely multiple streams of income. I think he has the most streams of everyone that we've done a profile on. He has, I don't even know how many that was, but he also values education. He actually went to University of Phoenix.
Yes.
I worked at University of Phoenix for a lot of, like 2 years, something like that. And I remember them sharing his story a lot. So of course he's not a traditional student. So that's why he needed to do like their framework work for him. But he wanted to go in person. He didn't want to go online, but you have to have a certain number of students for them to run a in-person class, and you need to have these. I mean, it's like a cohort system, right? So the same 10 students are going to be with you till you graduate. And he didn't want to be in class with regular people because he's Shaq, and he also needed the schedule to fit around his schedule as Shaq. So he paid for 15 of his friends to get their MBAs so they can get their MBAs with him.
That's so
in
cool.
person. He paid for them to get their MBAs.
And I love how he's just unashamed. It's not unashamed because University of Phoenix is an actual college, but it's like I don't feel like it has the same type of notoriety as like another traditional college. So for him to be, he likes to put things on. He's like, I am the trend.
Yeah.
So I love that about him.
He doesn't care about like bragging or being. This is just facts. And the thing about University of Phoenix, a lot of people don't know, they don't pay me anymore, so I'm not getting paid for this. But a lot of the professors who teach there teach at the big schools. They teach at University of Phoenix part-time.
Okay.
Because they can do it, right? So we have a lot of like USC people, Harvard people, like professors from all over will teach a class here, teach a class there. So they're really good faculty. So the curriculum's good. It's just a for-profit school in that sense.
Yeah.
But they teaching you good stuff. And so the fact that he was already rich, very rich, already Shaq, and still valued education. Yeah. That's huge. He didn't have to get an MBA to do any of the things he did.
Doesn't.
But he wanted the knowledge. He didn't want to be in rooms and these people know more about business than him.
Than he did.
You know what I mean? So that means that he's more hands-on in the sense of he wants to understand. I remember there's this interview where they're he did it with Funny Marco. And Funny Marco was talking about how his mom bought him some Shaqs and how he got teased for wearing the Shaqs. And Shaq was like, my shoes come from the same warehouse as the designer brand. He's like, I can call him right now. And he called the freaking warehouse and wherever it was. He like the same material, same quality as the big brand.
It's just sold in
Walmart.
Walmart.
Like knew every bit of thing about how his Shaq shoes are made. So it wasn't like he just paid and say, hey, make me some shoes. Like
he also really likes the fact that people think he's a dumb jock. Yeah. And then he's able to just like pull out the business card. So yeah.
Yeah. And he's everyone I know who's ever been in the room with him says that he's very funny. He's very personable. He's very kind. So he's a good person. Yeah. He's not like a jerk. You know what I mean? Like, he cheated on his wife, I'm sure. But he's like funny.
He has atoned for that. It's not like
he owns it.
Yes, he has said it several times all over the internet that he wished that he would
messed up.
Yes,
he owns it. Like he has not a bitter like bone in his body. Like, he completely owns that. But he's one of those people that I don't think we realize. Like that man's a mogul. Yeah, like that man is gonna. He's
not just a goofy sports star.
Just a random athlete who could shoot a basket. Like he is a businessman.
Because let me tell you, even though he was a superstar, but there's a lot of people who went through the NBA and came out are broke now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
They didn't make good with that amount of money they were given.
Exactly.
They buried it in the sand. Like talking about the Bible. But Shaq was like, y'all gonna pay me crazy money to shoot some baskets? I can't do this forever. Right. And he had a plan, and it's amazing. So
I do.
Some takeaways. You want to start? You want to do Myron?
Yes. So Myron Golden teaches us the power of mastering high value skills and changing your money mindset to create wealth from scratch. Yeah. 50 Cent shows that hustling, diversification, and early investments are critical to building long-lasting wealth beyond a successful career. And Shaq is the blueprint for how athletes can transcend sports, leveraging fame and smart investments to create a vast empire across industries.
Yeah. Some of the common threads that connect these three men who like seemingly have nothing in common. They all turned their personal challenges into fuel for success, showing resilience and determination. Yes. They didn't rely on one income stream. They diversified and invested in multiple things. They each cultivated a unique brand that allowed them to expand their influence beyond their original careers. They all use their wealth and influence to give back, leaving a legacy of impact and philanthropy. And they've each mastered the art of reinvention, reensuring that they're relevant and their wealth continues to grow over time.
Reinvention. That is the word. Continually reinvent yourself. Yes.
It's not about making money. It's about making wealth. That's huge. So what are some things that you wish you knew?
God doesn't mind if we're rich. Most of the people in the Bible were about wealthy business people.
You allowed to want to have some money.
Yes, it's okay. It is okay. You don't have to feel guilty for wanting money.
It's all right. Don't love it, but you
Yeah.
want it.
Yes.
Things I wish I knew. I wish I knew that. I wish I knew. Let me think how I can phrase this. I think we think wealth is a prerequisite for success, but most of these moguls built empires from the ground up. So I wish I knew I didn't already have to do. And I wish I knew that success is not about staying in one lane. It's about building different highways in different directions.
Yes.
So I hope that you guys highway will lead to subscribing.
Yes.
Follow us, Giggles and Goals, on most platforms, or you can go to gigglesandgoals.com and click on different ways to listen to us, stream us, support us, love us, help us be wealthy and successful, because we want you to be wealthy and successful.
Yes.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Don't forget to pray. Bye.